Is there a woman in your life who seems to like you in a romantic or sexual way, but you can't be sure if she really does or not? Do you suspect that she's really just being friendly with you, and so you hesitate to make any move because you might scare her off? Does the question, does she care about me, always linger in the back of your mind? Hey, I know the feeling. Not knowing whether a woman is just being friendly with you or if she genuinely cares about you, it feels like a trap. You feel like you're about to lose a huge chance with her if you don't make a move. But at the same time, if you realize too late she was just being friendly, then not only will you blow your chances with her, but you'll also ruin your reputation because people will think you flirt with everything in a skirt or something. So what should you do? Luckily, there is a way to find out whether a woman really does care for you or not. It's called the MRIP Technique, and it lets you uncover whether or not a woman has feelings for you without blowing your chances or hurting your reputation. The first part of the MRIP technique involves a technique called mirroring, and I'm about to show you how it's done. Before that though, I need a quick favor. Please take a moment to scroll down below this video and click the like button. Once you clicked the like button, we'll dive right into the first part of the MRIP technique. Deal? Great. Now take 2 seconds to give me a thumbs up now. Go ahead, I'll wait. Have you clicked like? Awesome, thanks. Now let me tell you about mirroring and what it does. Mirroring, and the rest of the MRIP technique for that matter, was developed by Derek Rake. And just in case you haven't heard of Derek Rake, Derek is my friend, my mentor, and the world's top authority on mind control in the realm of dating and relationships. Now, by mind control, I'm not talking about the hokey Hollywood kind. There's none of that "you are getting sleepy" hooey. Instead, this is the scientific kind of mind control. This is clinical psychology, cognitive behavioral therapy, hypnotherapy, that kind of applied science. In other words, it's the kind of mind control that cures depression and phobias. It's the real thing. Derek has taken mind control science and adapted it for use in the dating game. He's the first and so far only coach to do so. And one of Derek's more useful techniques happens to be the mirroring technique. Now, here are a few examples of how you could use mirroring on your woman. Let's say you're having a conversation with her. When she crosses her legs, 3 seconds later you cross your legs too. If she heaves a sigh before saying something, heave a sigh before you reply. If she motions with her hands when she's talking, you also motion with your hands when you're talking. When she stretches, 3 seconds later you stretch too. If she speaks excitedly, match her intensity, and if she speaks quietly, match that as well. You get the idea. Basically, mirroring is copying some of her movements, tonalities, and mannerisms, although you do it discreetly so she doesn't notice it. So what's the point of mirroring? Here it is. Mirroring works by triggering a subconscious bonding reflex in her brain and body. Throughout humanity's 200,000-year history, we've learned to naturally like people who are similar to us. This encouraged the establishment of tribes, villages, cities, and nations, collections of people who spoke the same language and embraced the same values. Today, we still feel drawn towards people we can relate to, even if they're strangers. It's instinctive. And mirroring triggers that instinct in your woman's mind, and soon she'll find herself liking you more and more, even if she can't explain why. That's the first part of the MRIP technique. Mirroring. Now here's the second part. This second part is actually more of a principle than a technique. It's called the rapport inflection point. The rapport inflection point is the telltale sign that she no longer feels you're just a friend, and instead, she starts feeling the first sparks of attraction for you. Once you see the rapport inflection point, then you can be 100% sure she does care about you. Now, I'm about to explain to you what the rapport inflection point looks like. Before that though, I need another tiny favor. If you like what you've learned in this video so far, then please thank me by becoming a subscriber. Once you clicked on subscribe, we'll talk about the rapport inflection point, alright? So go ahead and click that subscribe button now. I'll be here waiting. Have you subscribed? Awesome. Thanks again. Now here's what the rapport inflection point looks like. So first, you mirror your woman's mannerisms and movements discreetly. This triggers the release of bonding chemicals in her brain, and she feels an emotional bond with you that grows stronger and stronger. Then you test to see if she has reached the rapport inflection point. In the middle of your conversation with her, you stretch your arms and shoulders, and then you watch her closely. If, a few seconds later, she also stretches her arms and shoulders, then that's the sign. You've reached the rapport inflection point. She is now subconsciously mirroring you. That's the sign you're looking for. And that means she already likes you as more than just a friend. She now considers you a potential lover. And at that point, you should not miss the chance. Invite her to meet you someday soon on a one-on-one date. If you've reached the rapport inflection point, she'll gladly say yes, and then you can take things from there. And that's how you find out if a woman cares about you or not, without ever asking her directly. Pretty handy, huh? Now here's the thing. As powerful as the MRIP technique is, it's not the most powerful mind control technique out there. In fact, it's only a specialized application of the most powerful technique out there. That technique is called fractionation. I don't want to get too technical, so here's what fractionation is in a nutshell. Fractionation is the act of making a woman feel emotionally addicted to you by putting her on emotional roller coasters. The MRIP technique also makes a woman feel an emotional bond to you, but it can only be used in the earlier stages of your relationship, where you're still trying to build rapport with her. And in mind control standards, the MRIP technique is useful, but it's lightweight in the sense that it builds an emotional connection, but only up until the rapport inflection point. After that, you'll need something more powerful, something that will not just make her feel an emotional bond with you, but an emotional addiction. And that emotional addiction is super important. You know why? Because unless she feels emotionally addicted to you, then her attraction for you will fade, and fast. So even if you did reach the rapport inflection point with her, even if she did care about you, if you don't turn her emotional connection to you into emotional addiction, then you'll lose her. And that would be unfortunate. So you'll want a technique that will make her hooked on you the exact same way her brain would feel hooked to a drug, or a TV show, or an erotic novel. That technique is fractionation. So here's what I'll do for you. In just a few moments, a link will come up inside this video. If you click on that link, it will take you to an exclusive online masterclass on mind control, which will teach you everything you need to know about fractionation. And the best part? That online masterclass is hosted by none other than Derek Rague himself. You can't hope for a better mentor. Now remember, you now know how to use the MRIP technique to see if she cares for you, and even make her develop feelings for you. But unless you use fractionation on her, those feelings will disappear soon. So make sure she falls in love with you, and stays in love with you. And fractionation is the key to that. So go ahead, click the link and join Derek's online masterclass now. Go on and click the link so that you can join the masterclass. Do it.